And as far as volunteers are concerned, we always look for manpower to make this reality. And so much we need ideas. It took an idea such as mine to establish an event or an organization such as this. There are thousands of people who are unfortunate, and if there's a different way, if there's a Muslim old age home that they need somebody to read on, we can establish programs. So different ideas that they can't do it solo, and they need an ummah to establish this, then inshallah we're the ummah that are looking for this opportunity.
They're looking for the opportunity. You also mentioned going out into the hospitals.
Yeah.
Do you send volunteers out to the local hospitals? How does that work?
Well, we are currently working with, which hospital was it that you were at?
We were at Sick Kids, but we want to establish something here at the Credit Valley Hospital in terms of reading program.
Area, right?
That's right. We wanted something more local. And our idea is to have like a reading program with the children. And to go in and you know, the ones that are there for long term, you know, we can go in and establish something as such as a reading program.
The sad part too is that there are a lot of Muslim elderly that don't have any children to come visit them, and sometimes it's just a social aspect, just to go there and bring them a bagel or just to give them a little smile.
Right, and go spend some time with them. And,
and that's a big sunnah that the Prophet stressed upon, and that's what we want to do.
Right.
And even if there is no i'tikaf arrangements, we can do that as well.
Okay, great. I really want to shed some light on, and actually some focus on the event that you guys have coming up. Again, could you just mention your event and how, if people are interested in purchasing the tickets, how much would the cost be, and where the event will be held once again? Again,
it's going to be Friday, God willing, on January 26th, 2006. January 27th, sorry. January 27th, 2006 at the Woodbine Banquet Hall, just in Rexdale. Tickets can be purchased. We have flyers being given out at local masjids and local stores right now.
And what we'll probably do is put the website up for you guys.
Absolutely. We'll be providing a phone number, and that can be contacted any day.
Great. Okay.
And in addition to our website as well, www.one-ummah.com.
Great, and we'll put that up on the screen later on. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you, Jazakallah.
Okay.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Spirit of Islam. On today's Halal Perspective on Canadian Lifestyle, our panel will be focusing on the success of the IMAP program. Our panel of guests tonight include Brother Ashraf, who has spoken on the topic of marriage in many different forms, and Brother Mikhail Khan, who is the representative of IMAP. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the show.
Assalamu alaikum.
Now, Brother Ashraf, as you know, in this society, for a man and a woman to get together, it's very different of the Muslim way of looking at marriage.
I think the challenge is not just this society. I find in all cultures today, because everybody lives a busy lifestyle, everybody's so busy with their work, study, that meeting a partner is a challenge. And so it's not for Muslims. I find it Muslims and non-Muslims, meeting the right partner, the one you want to share your life with, is a challenge. And, you know, what we try to do is give a different perspective of how to meet. As you mentioned, maybe a halal way to meet. However, before maybe we go into this discussion, I want to just rectify an idea in people's mind about Muslims and arranged marriages. People think that most Muslims go through arranged marriages. If we look at marriage in Islam, Islam is basically a man and a woman getting together. They both consent to the marriage and they announce to the world. Right. This is how Islam and marriage is. In the time of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, the engagement was 3-4 days. So we say they didn't get to know each other. No, they got to know each other because they were brought up through the same community. They live together. The families know each other. This segregation of sexes that we see today in some cultures was not there before. So yes, they knew each other, they knew the families, and they knew they fit, and this is how marriages happen. Right. Now we have different challenges in our society today.
Right. And those are some of the challenges that IMAP tries to focus in on. Brother Mikhail, why don't you tell us a little bit about IMAP and what it stands for and how you guys try to, you know, rectify these issues that Muslims are facing today, these challenges that Muslims have of meeting each other. Because, you know, so many times I remember on campus, I would have sisters come up to me and say, you know, well, how are we supposed to meet somebody? Anytime you have dinners, everything is segregated. How am I supposed to meet somebody and get married? So
I guess what happened was a group of Muslims, brothers and sisters, got together and they recognized a few things. As Brother Ashraf mentioned, the communities that were there before, the close-knit communities where you grow up together with a brother or a sister and the families know each other, that sort of thing is not necessarily as prevalent as it used to be in today's society. As the Muslim population is a lot more dispersed. So they noticed that, you know, those networks weren't there. The other thing is they noticed also that the North American Muslims especially wanted to lead their search for a mate, especially the youth. And that's something we wanted to also accommodate. And finally, the other thing is, which is very, very prevalent in this society, especially in North America, is that there are brothers and sisters that are going to bars and they're going to nightclubs and they're expecting to find a mate.
But that's not the Islamic way of doing things, going to bars and nightclubs.
But the reality is I have friends that are Muslims that would go to these sort of venues looking to find somebody to get married. And this is not the type of person we want to meet in a bar or a nightclub. And that being said, too, is if you go to an IMAP event, you know everybody there is interested in getting married. If you go to a bar or a nightclub, maybe they're just there to drink and dance for all you know. You don't know what sort of environment they're there to benefit from, in essence. If you go to the campus, you may be there just to learn whatever it is you're to learn that specific day, or maybe you are looking to find somebody to get married. So it becomes a very, very sensitive issue. You can't just walk up to a brother or sister generally and say, okay, I'd like to marry you. So what we do is we provide this sort of...
It might work, by the way.
It might, but I think people...
It's known to happen, right?
It has been known to happen successfully so, but I think most brothers and sisters would be a little bit intimidated to take that sort of an approach. So what we do is we provide a venue where, you know, you have a lecture, generally having to do with marriage and Islam, that sort of thing.
So sort of educating whoever's coming to the event about marriage also.
About marriage, you know, what to expect in marriage, you know, what to look for in a spouse. You know, it's pretty basic things with respect to Islamic marriage. And then from that point, we probably go into workshops where brothers and sisters can get together in rotational type discussions and discuss various issues, usually related to marriage. You know, what's the duties of a husband, what's the duties of the wife. That way you can get an idea of what different people's perspectives are on marriage. After that, then there's more of an open, informal forum where everyone can get together and speak to whomever they'd like further and figure out if they want to speak outside of the
So during the workshops and the lecture, it's sort of interactive. So, you know, just by sitting there and being at the event, you can get to know a lot about the person that's there. And if you want to further pursue something, you can, in the second part of the evening, you can go around and start talking to the person. And also the families are welcome of the potential
brothers,
suitors.
sisters, mothers, fathers, aunties, uncles, anyone.
So you have a lot of those showing up at the events?
In some cases, you'll find even the father alone or the mother alone may come looking for somebody for their child if they're more conservative. Because we have a wide range. We've got the very conservative Muslims, and we've got the less conservative Muslims that may come on their own. So we have a wide range of clientele, so to speak.
Out of curiosity, did you get some people objecting that men and women are together?
Yeah, there have been some challenges. We've gotten a lot of support from the imams in our community, but I believe you probably know the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ was told by somebody that he wanted to marry somebody, and he said, "Did you see her?" And he said no, and he said, "Well, go and see her." So I mean, if you look from that perspective, you can see that this venue, you can actually go and meet the person, because you're not going to get married realistically. You're not going to get married unless you meet somebody, right? And you have this venue where you can meet people, and you're in an open forum, which is completely Islamic, because you're not alone with anyone. You've got chaperones, if you like to call them that, and you've got other people there. So it's a lot more casual and laid back, and so you can accommodate the Islamic side and also the sort of the
comfortable Islamic environment, right? For everyone to get together and and get to know each other, basically, right? But with the intention of marriage, everyone there is serious about marriage.
It's a very open intention that everyone has when they go there.
Right.